Hello and welcome back to my channel. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is from self-published authors, published authors or aspiring authors, and it's about how can they market their book better. So one of the things I thought about doing is creating a video like this on YouTube to talk about what it's like from my point of view working in marketing and PR in a publishing house. So being a self-published author and being traditionally published, there are some similarities and some differences, but I'll try and highlight that throughout this video. So the way that traditional marketing works is you have a marketing and a PR department, and they will essentially be in charge of getting your book out there, making people aware that it's available to buy. The difference with self-published authors is the fact that you don't have a publishing house, you don't have a representative, and therefore you have to do a lot of it yourself. Obviously, depending on your budget, you can outsource that to freelancers, but these are some of the things that I'm going to talk about which might be helpful for you to do yourself. So my first lot of tips is knowing your basics, getting the basics right. First of all, you need to know your audience and then tailor your marketing and your publicity accordingly. So for example, if you're writing a thriller book, you're not going to want to send that and pitch that to people that are under 10 years old. Likewise, if it's a picture book, you're not going to want to be pitching that to people that are obviously not going to be reading picture books. So you're going to be wanting to be pitching that to parents, librarians, teachers, nursery teachers. So whether it's demographic, whether it's their interest, their genre, who they're buying it for, whatever, know your audience and then start tailoring it like that so you're seeing everything through your audience's eyes. The next thing is knowing your goals. This will help you to get off on the right foot and continually monitor your progress throughout your journey. Some authors' goals isn't just to sell loads of books. Sometimes it's just recognition, getting their book out there. Sometimes it's views on social media, like a cover reveal or something like that. Some authors just want reviews. They want a load of review coverage to see what people thought about their book. And some authors want sales. They want lots of books actually being sold so they can make money from it. So have this in mind throughout your journey as well, so you know what you're aiming for. And then also the basics is knowing you and getting you right as well. Make sure that you're being nice, you're being really friendly. Publishing is a very small world, whether you're being traditionally published or not. So the likelihood that you're going to bump into someone that you've already met before is very, very high. Therefore, if you're an author at a publishing house and then you move to a different publishing house for your second book, word might have got round if you were particularly rude or if you had lots of problems. My next thing is make some buddies. As I said, the publishing industry is a very small world. Therefore, you want to get on with everyone you can, and essentially you are your own brand, you are the author of your book, and therefore you're going to know your book the most out of everyone. But this also means that you're not going to want to be too pushy because everyone will know it's your book, obviously. So with this, booksellers, for example, it will be so lovely if you were to go into a bookshop and say, hi, I'm this author, you know, if my book's in your store, or can I get some in your store? That's more of like a sales thing anyway. But going in and making those relationships, if you go in and you go straight away to booksellers and say, this is my book, read it, I want you to put it on your stores, coming across really demanding and really pushy sets off the completely wrong message, and you're not going to make friends with those booksellers. Instead, go down to your local bookshop, spend some time there, buy some of their products, get to know them, start making friendly conversation with them, go back a few times a week, whatever it is to kind of build that relationship from a really authentic place first. And then once you have that connection and your book is out or is coming out, you can mention this to the bookseller that is now your friend. Similarly, with authors, they are not always your competition. They can be your peers as well. You're often at the same stage in your publishing process. They're going to know exactly what it's like, what you're going through at the time. So instead of seeing these people as people that you need to sort of compete against, consider them your friends and consider you working together on that. So ask how it's going for them, comment on their stuff on social media, congratulate them when their book is out. This also helps us as publishers as well, because we can reach out to authors in future and say, hi, we'd like to send you a copy of this new author's book, would you like to review it? I always think it works best if authors can always work together as opposed against each other. So I mentioned reviewers there. So reviewers are really important people, bloggers, bookstagrammers, booktokers, booktubers, whatever, that can impact the sale of your books. Lockdown saw a rise in BookTok recommendations, which saw a rise in book sales. And this is just one way to prove that word of mouth and recommendations has a huge impact on the books that are sold and how many are sold. So being on good terms with reviewers and sending it to the right people can make a huge difference. By all means, contact some reviewers and say, hi, I hope you're well, I really like your page, this is my book, this is what it's about, I'd love to send you a copy, no worries if not. And the difference between doing that in that very kind of like monotone, friendly voice, as opposed to some of the messages that I've received in the past where I get messages to say, hi, I'm an author, review my book now. It seems ridiculous, but I've had so many messages along those lines where it's just a hard sell, a hard push, and that actually discourages me so much more than if you were to tell me why you think I'd like it because you've seen something on my feed, a book that I've liked before. It also means that you've given me the right impression of you as an author as well, and I feel like subconsciously that's going to make me want to leave a better review as well. Equally, if you're not self-published and you work with a publishing house to publish your book in the traditional sense, give your publishers a list of people that you want to send your books to. Say, I really want to send it to this person, I really like their reviews, and we can find out their addresses for you and send that to them. And making buddies with your publishers as well if you have them. We are here to help you, we want the best for you. A lot of the time you're working on a lot of titles at once as well, so things may slip through the cracks. Sometimes we might overlook some reviewers that you might want, but keeping friendly with us, keeping up to date, asking us any questions, that obviously really helps from our point of view. To end my point about making buddies, and it's kind of going back to my original point, but it's stop spamming. Don't go and spam a load of people, whether it's people that work in publishing and say, I need you to help market my book, which I've had ridiculous amount of messages on LinkedIn for, and I'm like, that is not my job. Or if it's reviewers, don't just drop them a cold message and send them a link and be like, buy this book now. That's not going to work, unfortunately. So my next point is about free stuff. Basically, everyone loves free stuff, and this applies to the publishing industry as well. If you've written a, let's say, YA or an adult book, offer your first chapter for free. Put a link on social media, send it to some people privately and get their thoughts, get them excited about your book. Use that as a kind of teaser to what's to come. This can be whether you're self-published or traditionally published. If your book is fictional, introduce your characters, tell us how old they are, what they like, what's their main purpose in this story. And if it's more of a children's book, if it's got loads of illustrations in it, show us some sneak peeks of the illustrations, do a time lapse of you doing it. People engage with that stuff and they like to see the free stuff, they like to see the behind the scenes. If you or your publishing house have designed this beautiful cover, show that off, get that in people's minds that they've seen that before. Do a cover reveal, do a week after the cover's been revealed. Constantly push that cover out so people can see it. And a giveaway is another way of offering free stuff as well. Giveaways work really, really well for exposure, and they are super simple and super easy to do. So ask your publishers if you can do a giveaway on their social media site. Do a giveaway on your social media site. Offer a free copy of your book if people just retweet that tweet. Whatever it is, offer some free stuff and people will love it. Okay, probably my biggest advice is going to be about social media. Social media has taken over the world basically, and this is no exception when it comes to publishing. So again, get your basics right when it comes to social media. If you're an author, keep your username consistent. It's a bugbear of mine when I'm scheduling social media posts on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and your username is different across all of them. It's such a simple thing that makes a huge difference. Keep your username consistent and people are more likely to tag you. You can see reviews that you've got, and publishers can tag you in anything that we're posting as well. And it sounds obvious, but make sure that your username is your name as well. Make it, so mine would be Eleanor Marie Rose. Make it obvious, so like don't have like bananas 1 2 3 4 5 or something where people are not going to recognize that that's you. It's all about exposure. And then with your bio as well, your biography on a social media account. A lot of the time this has character limits, but keep it simple, keep it professional, keep it approachable, and put your book in there. People are not going to know going straight onto your profile if you're an author or not, so make that obvious. I'm the author of this book. And if it's by a particular publishing house as well, you can tag them in your bio. Just on that as well, tag your publishers in things. We don't always see everything that's going on, and especially when a publisher has lots of imprints, we may very, very easily miss things. So tag us in everything you can. Even if it's just, I'm off to this bookshop, tag us in it so we can repost it. Again, it's all about exposure. So engagement is a huge part of social media. You don't want to be super pushy and be known to be that author that just wants to sell copies of their book. You want to engage. So firstly, you want to engage with your book. Post when you're writing the final draft. Post when your final copies have come in. Post when you spot it in a bookshop. Post about your journey as an author and how excited genuinely you are about your book being out there. Again, engage with other people, engage with authors, congratulate them on when their book's out, comment on how well things are going for them. See them as your peers, not your competition. Engage with reviewers. If they've left a really nice review about your book, thank them, comment on it, share it on your stories. Have that kind of like human aspect to you as well, and I think that's really important. It's so easy to just hard sell all the time, but having a human aspect behind you makes a big difference, and people can see that you're a genuine person, you're genuinely excited about your book, and makes it more likely that they're going to pick it up. And linking onto this, don't always ask for favours. Build a relationship, like I was saying about with booksellers, but online as well. Build a relationship with people, even though they're just through the screen. Start following people back, comment on things, engage with the community. Use visuals on social media as well. Sites such as Twitter, which were primarily based to be text heavy, is growing more on the visual side. Use animations, pictures, photographs, videos, whatever it may be. People like to see things. And also with social media, start analysing. It's a key part of marketing in a publishing house, but you can do it yourself as well. Analyse if your followers are going up or down. Why is that? See if your posts are getting a lot of likes, or if you're getting a lot of negative comments on one of them. Why is that? See what's working and what's not, and analyse and and tailor accordingly. Then I can't mention social media without mentioning TikTok. As I said, this has had a massive increase in sales throughout lockdown and afterwards. Try it, that's all I'm gonna say. I didn't start using TikTok properly until I joined this job, and I love it now, and I can see what effect it has. If you're an author, just try it, just get creative. If you do 5 videos and decide it's not for you, that's fine, at least you've given it a go. It's a huge platform for book reviewers, booksellers and more. I'd be happy to share some ideas of what you can create as an author, but some things include doing a time lapse of your illustrations, telling us why we think you should buy your book in under 10 seconds, and coming with you on a day in the life as an author. Again, if you have a publisher and they're on TikTok, make sure you're tagging them in everything and suggesting any ideas to them or providing content for them to repost. So a lot of those tips were a mix between if you're a self-published author or if you're working with a publisher. But these last few things are going to be about how you can help your publishers. I work at a publishing house in marketing and PR, and these are some of the things that I've just picked up from my point of view of what can really, really help. Firstly, be willing to do things and try and engage. We're working as a team. We want what's best for you as much as you do. So if we're asking you to attend an event, don't put obstacles in the way. Equally, be self-sufficient. If you see there's an event going on that you'd like to join, if there's a local bookshop near you, be self-sufficient, suggest these ideas. It's great to suggest ideas, whether it be for marketing or publicity, but manage your expectations. Don't be too rude, too demanding, too pushy. Publishing, as I said, is a very small world. We're working on a lot of books at once. And sometimes, depending on budget and capacity, it's not always possible to do what we would like to do for your book and what you'd like to do for your book as well, which is where you step in. Answer your emails. It seems like a really, really simple thing, but answer your emails. A lot of the time we're working on a really tight schedule. For example, if we want to print bookmarks for you, we might have to get these printed within the next couple of days. It really helps to know that you're a consistent and reliable replier on emails. Likewise, stick to deadlines. If we've sent you an email and asked you to complete a feature writing for the 10th, don't message us at midnight on the 9th saying you're unable to do it. Please let us know if you don't have capacity, but stick to deadlines if you've agreed to them. Please be patient with us at Publishing House as well, and appreciate what's going on behind the scenes, the things that you don't always see. It might appear like we're not doing enough to push your book, but there is a lot going on. There's a lot of pitching going on behind the scenes and a lot of budget management to get your book out there as much as possible. If you're someone that has a list of really influential friends, send that to us. That can really help us get some review coverage and some social media content. Going back to my point earlier as well, tag us in everything. If we're your publisher, we want to see everything that you're doing. Equally, tell us if you've got anything planned. If you've been really self-sufficient and you're organising an event or you're going to do a signing or something, just drop us a message and say, hey, I'm going to be on this radio show. We can help to push this. There's quite a lot of things there, and that is not an exhaustive list. And I just want to reiterate as well that I'm just saying this from my point of view, working in marketing and PR, when I work with a range of different authors that all have different needs and requirements. A massive good luck to all the authors out there, whether you are self-published, traditionally published, or looking to be published. I hope you've taken something away from this video and it's useful. I have got other videos on what it's like to work in publishing and tips to get into publishing, but as more of an author-facing video, I hope you found this useful. Good luck, enjoy, and hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!